Hi there. I thought it would be fun to do a 2019 year in review and sharing all the things that I started out with in the beginning of 2019 and tell you where I actually ended up with. So, in 2019, I started out with 4 different things. The Jibun Techo A5 Slim as my planner, this passport size weekly insert as a memory planner keeper for pretty planning, a A6 notebook. Actually, this was an A6 Stalogy for about 2 weeks, and then I purchased the Nanami Cafe Note in A6. These are the first 2 signatures of each of these books for regular journaling with pen. And then I had also purchased, this is a Heidi Swap memory planner for photo documentation. The easiest thing is probably this planner. I used this all year long. It worked really well in the beginning. As usual, when you're ambitious and you're trying out something new, then it really works very well. I used it consistently throughout. And then let me check where it was, around the end of the school year in May, I kind of died off. The only thing that I still did was adding our weekly schedule. But I was surviving and there wasn't much done besides our weekly commitments, actually. So that's why I didn't write down anything. Then I went on vacation and I didn't even take this planner with me. But when I came back, I kind of dumped everything that was in my head, anything that I needed to do, that I wanted to do, onto this first spread. And then I went back to using it. That was also the time when I watched a YouTube video by my friend Dakshina, and she talked about how she is using the bullet journal method in her planner, or how she's focusing more on also journaling about the everyday life in her planner. And that is what I then started doing in July. And so I filled it up more. I started using more stickers again. And that was around the same time when I went back. I decided to set goals in the beginning of the year and check back with them quarterly, which for me, that was too far apart. So I went back to review my goals that I had set in the beginning of the year and that I reviewed in March. And then in August, I reviewed them again and set new goals or adjusted them. And then I went into monthly goal setting, and that helped a lot. I also, let me check. I think it was the first week of August, right here. This is where I was obsessed with using a Stalogy. The problem that occurred here when I was doing the daily journaling or adding things that happened was that the columns in this weekly spread were way too small for my handwriting, were way too small for what I wanted to say. It looked super busy, and I decided, or I thought that I would enjoy a daily page more. I have been doing daily pages for several years on and off, and never in the right format. So I used a standard size traveler's notebook that was way too big, a personal size traveler's notebook that was too big. Then I used a passport size, which was too small. I used rings, which was, then I used 2 pages on one. And I had lost track of the weekly view. So I went to this for 2019. And so I decided I would try one more thing, and I would try, because I was so obsessed with it, I would have loved to dump my planner for forever right then and there. And so I decided, I was so obsessed that I decided, okay, if this works, I have a Stalogy A6 in my possession, then I will finish out the year 2019 in my Jibun Techo and move into an A6 into 2020. And that's exactly what I'm doing, because it worked really well. And that was this week where I drifted off and tested the daily pages in the Stalogy. It gave me a boost to finish out strong in this notebook or planner. What the other thing that was really not working for me was that I only had this planner, and then I was using this book as kind of like a reference book. And I didn't have a place to put lists, which, yes, I absolutely understand that I could have put my lists and things right in here, but I didn't allow myself to do that. And once I started reflecting on what was wrong with my planning, or what I was missing and I was craving for, and I gave myself permission to do that, this planner started working a lot better than it had in the beginning of the year. So I would say, even though I drifted off and I enjoyed using it in the beginning, of the year, then drifted off, I came back stronger, and I actually was able to utilize this more for my needs. Okay, so that is what happened then, and this is what it looks like all the way to the end of October. And then I started journaling in right here. I started journaling in Hobonichi weeks, and so the journal parts of this planner, fills it up so much right here, went away again. And so this was a lot cleaner again and more visually appealing, maybe. So that is where I'm at now. I still sometimes note things down, but not by far less than when I used this for journaling as well. This is what it looks like right now. We are in this week. Today is Friday, December 20th. I should have been working, but we needed to cut labor, so I volunteered to stay at home so I can film this video. And next week is going to be my last week in here, and then for the last 2 days of December, I'm going to move into this Stalogy notebook, and I cannot wait to finally set up this planner. So what I was talking about before, the lists. So I had a reference book in here. I'm going to tell you about my planner setup in another video. So I'm not going to go into that much detail, but these lists that you can see right here, they will also be in my Stalogy A6, because this is going to be strictly a planning tool, and all the lists this is what I'm going to take with me, and all the lists that I have, all the ideas, everything that I think of will go in there. And if I need, every week when I do my weekly review, looking at the pages that I filled during the week, I will then decide if this list or if the thing that I wrote down needs to go someplace else. Okay, so this is the easy part. I felt like I had planner peace regarding the way I am planning. Not the way I'm writing things down. It was peaceful, much more peaceful than ever before. I really enjoyed being in one notebook all year long. I really enjoyed not having to set up the notebook. So I'm really curious to see how this will go in 2020, because I'm going back slightly to setting up my daily layouts. But since they're in a list format, it's not gonna be that big of a deal, I hope. I will definitely let you know in a future video how the decorating, I am actually craving the decorating part. And now, I guess, so this kind of found planner piece, I know how I'm planning, I know what I need to do to be productive. The only thing that sometimes happens is that I'm just too lazy to do these things. But the planning kind of feels like I'm on top of it. What I really struggled with in 2019 was the way I am documenting my memories. Obviously, this kind of didn't work out. I only went to, I think, March 10th, and I had lots of big gaps in between. I wanted to be creative, but I felt like the A6 was way too small to add journaling and be creative. I really love this. I wanted to use watercolors, and then the pages were too small. And also, what I noticed as well, I do not like the tiny grid for fountain pen journaling. So I didn't do journaling a lot in March. I stopped. I didn't like it. I didn't have a solution, and I just did not journal for a while until I decided to move my whole journal into an A5 notebook. This is the MD notebook, and I started on May 10th, and then I went all the way to I'm in October. September has gaps, so I think the last finished month is August. However, I absolutely enjoyed this. This is so much fun. I cornered, stressed myself by doing daily pages, which I know I don't have to do, but I cornered myself, I stressed myself, I set myself some rules and had expectations on myself that I couldn't fulfill, and so I left this again. But I'm not giving up on this just yet. I really would love to fill this in and maybe even finish this. I will call it finished and say that this is done when the pages up to November 3rd are filled. I don't know if I'm going to go ahead and add more. Maybe when I'm kind of settled in 2020, I will pick this up again. But I do really want to take the time and add in the missing things that are in here, that are still missing in here. This was super fun, and if I can find a way to incorporate this on a less regular basis without putting too much pressure on myself, I will definitely pick this up again. So that is the journaling. I also wanted to do kind of a weekly planning style because I absolutely love and enjoyed this in 2018. However, what happened was that I went in and kind of wrote down the things that I did every day, and it became very quickly, it became obvious that it was redundant. Also, because I was doing so many different things, I was just stressed by all the things that I was doing. and so I didn't enjoy this. I love looking back at this. Super fun. It was kind of tiny, so I started in 2018. I did this in a mini Daisy Dory from Coco Daisy, and I had 4 days on a spread. That was really fun. So I had 1 week on 2 pages, and then this is the layout that comes in. Let me open this to the back. That comes in this pre-printed, undated Travelers Company insert, and I thought this would be fun because I wouldn't have to, again, set up everything from the start. But it was a kind of tiny, very cluttered. I went back to using this there. So then I think I changed it up and didn't use the background and layout of the, just drew my own layout. And so it was okay, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't really love it. And so in at the end of week 17, which was, let me check what month it actually was, the end of April? Was it the end of April? Super not in the, I guess it was the end of April. Yeah. So it was the end of April I stopped doing this notebook. I decided to call this done. I have a flip through of this in my playlist, and I will link it in the description box below. Same with this one. I have a flip through of the several flip throughs up to August. And let me put this back in. And then this. This was a big failure. I thought I would love this as a scrapbook, and I kind of did, but again, as I said, way too many projects. That is something that I guess I learned in 2019, was that having too many projects and not having enough time for other things beside paper creative stuff is just not making it enjoyable for me. And so I think I finished February, so I did this. I did February 1st to 3rd, February 10th, 17th. Wow, I'm even further than I thought. March. I guess this is the week that I haven't documented yet. My idea is not to give up on this as well. I have been catching up with several unfinished projects in the past 6 months, and I would love to go back and finish this at one point, but definitely not right now. What I'm thinking is, or what I'm actually planning to do right after this, after I filmed this video, is make a new list of unfinished creative projects. Knitting, sewing, paper, memory keeping, journaling, everything that is still open, that I have started but not finished. And then make a plan of things that I will tackle next. For some reason, tackling old things, unfinished things, and deciding if I want to finish them and or actually give up on them has really helped, and in many ways it helped me being productive. It made me feel successful, and so that is something that I'm not giving up on just yet. Maybe not in this very detailed and very tiny format. I might print bigger pictures, or look for just photos and take out the dividers. Who knows how it's going to be. I don't have the headspace right now to decide on that, and I have so many other unfinished projects that this can still sit a little while and wait until I am ready to tackle it. And so that is what is going to happen, or not, what didn't happen in 2019. I learned that I had way too many projects. I have downsized a lot. In 2020, I will only be using one planner system, which consists of these two notebooks. Well, actually, no. Where is the other thing? Oh, it's right in here. So I have a reference book, a projects book, and this everyday carry planner thingy for me. I have a video coming soon which will tell you a lot more about this. This is going to be my notebook for my goals, where I do a monthly review, or yeah, I think it's going to be monthly. And then I also have one more journal that I would love to do on a regular basis, and I'm reaching for it right now, which is a Hobonichi Weeks. Everything else is projects that are short term, will be done on a, like, finishing up things. They are not yearly commitments. And that's, I think, the key for me. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was fun to watch. I hope you could take some of the things that I learned and maybe start and think about the things you're committing in next year. Maybe it's too much. Maybe you need to downsize to enjoy the things you love doing even more. I hope you have happy holidays, or had happy holidays. I hope you started a fresh new 2020 and are excited for the things that are going to come along in the new year. I will see you soon. Until then, bye.